Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your patience for the last, what, has it been 3 weeks since I posted a video? Almost 3 weeks? It has been a moment, and I've talked on the community channel, I've talked some in the Discord. Those of you who are really linked in to the community through a couple of different means have probably gotten something of an explanation, but I have to say, except for like maybe the mods and a few people that I talk to regularly, I haven't talked openly about what's been going on in a very thorough sense, really ever, because I haven't wanted to. I haven't felt ready to. And in some ways, I've vented about it at points during videos. So those of you who have really kept up with the content over the last 3 or 4 months, you have a little bit more of a snippet as well. But I wanted to do a video because I now am feeling ready to talk about what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks, why I took a bit of a break, what's been going on, and what is around the corner for the channel. And also, this might just be a good summary for those of you who haven't seen any of the updates, because there's always a significant number of people who don't realize the community tab exists, who don't realize the Discord exists, and or don't care and prefer just to get their updates from watching the mainline content, if that. Some people are just here for the content, and that's fine too, so you can skip this video. But I thought we would do a bit of a different look-ahead video today for that purpose. So, as you can tell, I'm not just staring at like a spreadsheet or a, nice background while I talk. This is, well, it is certainly a nice background, but this is Flight Simulator 2020. We are sitting in a Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. And if you're wondering where I am, this is the airport at Catalina Island off the coast of Southern California, very near where I grew up. Really nice handcrafted model of the Catalina airport, by the way, that is available on the marketplace for Flight Simulator. But let's go ahead and get underway here. And then once this plane is started... Hello? There we go. Once we're underway, I can talk in a little bit more depth about what's been going on. Shouldn't take us too long to get underway here. Already had the APU started prior to hitting record. By the way, if you're not watching this in 4K, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So if you have a 4K display, highly recommend pulling this video up on that. This is one of the first videos that I've published, publicly at least, on the channel. I did a brief test/preview video last night, also in Flight Simulator, also in an F-22, but that was in the Swiss Alps. And you can see that on the community tabs, but it's not public, so you have to go to the community tab to get the link to the video. Okay, engines are coming online. Let's go ahead and connect the generators. Come on. Toby eye tracker's a little bit sensitive when you're looking down that direction. Like any little movement of my head, it's going to be like, oh, you want to move? You want to move? No, I want to hold still so I can point at that frickin' switch and click it. Anyway. Oh, I should probably take off the parking brake, huh? Yeah, probably. There we go. So I've got the weather set, as you saw at the beginning before I closed the window. Well, you might have noticed, you might not have noticed, but you can go back and look if you like. I've got the weather set to something very close to what it actually is right now in real time. This is also real time just in terms of time of day when I'm recording this. The clouds themselves are not real time weather. This is a mod that's available for Flight Simulator that adds some really nice sort of weather effects. But the particulars of the weather that are set up are definitely customized to what the weather is right now in real time, which is pretty cool. The clouds just are not a part of that. So I'm going to stay close to Catalina for a second here just to get a nice view of Avalon Harbor as I fly by. Then I'll fly inland and we'll start talking a little bit about what's going on with the channel. Hope everyone's had a decent week so far. It is Thursday morning as I record this. Oh, one other thing I should probably take care of real quick. Alright. With that done, let's climb a little. See what life is like above the clouds. Currently at 7,000 feet, rising. I'm going to turn inland. You can see the land in the distance over there. Beautiful morning. No complaints. Humid, but it is humid, at least at Catalina Island right now. Hence the very, very bright kind of corona around the sun. A lot of moisture in the atmosphere being rendered. But an absolutely gorgeous morning. So, let's turn off the afterburners so that things are a little bit quieter, but also just so that we are not staring at an overspeed warning for the next little bit. I can also hit the air brake really fast. That'll help with that. Perfect. So, what's been going on? I hardly know where to begin. So, let me begin with, what caused me to stop putting videos out completely. It was really touch and go for, probably a month and a half period there, where, the schedule was stop and start, half schedule, not half schedule. But if you were following the videos on a regular basis, and if you're really keeping up, especially with both series, I wasn't talking about it a lot because I didn't want to, get to that in a bit, but I was really struggling with the upgraded audio equipment that I have, and it's actually, I've been realizing over the past couple of weeks, it was much simpler in some ways, but also more complicated at the same time than I was really giving it credit for. I thought I was really struggling with audio in particular, and what would happen is I would think that I would fix the problem, and I would say in a video, okay, or maybe I'd say in a community post, okay, cool, bringing videos back, I think I've got things ironed out, because the way that I record right now to work the channel time in around my other work is I have a very specific schedule, and I need stuff to work during that period of time when I'm set up to record. And the very short version, the TLDR in advance of all of this, of what was happening, is that, what's a fair percentage? 10 to 40% of the time, every single recording, 10 to 40% of them, not 10 to 40% of every single recording, but 10 to 40% of all the recordings. So some of them were fine, but there was a up to 40% chance that something would go wrong with the audio, and there would just be this garbling, and I would fix it, or think that I'd fixed it, and then go back to the drawing board and say, okay, we're bringing videos back, and try to get back into a routine. And to finish the sort of explanation from 3 weeks ago that I was about to offer, you might remember that the last video that went live on the channel was a video in CK3. That's actually not the last video I recorded. That week, I had a really good Saturday, a really good Sunday. I was ahead of schedule for the first time in weeks. I was building momentum. I was feeling good. Everything was starting to feel streamlined after going back and forth with the audio multiple times, and I felt like I had everything on lock. Then I recorded on a Tuesday, which, by the way, Tuesday and Wednesday are my very busy working days. Not for the channel, but otherwise. I recorded my standard 2 episodes. They were in CK3. The first one was the last one that you saw. The second one, I uploaded. And as I was preparing it for the channel, as I was looking at the audio and kind of seeing how everything looked and sounded in particular, I noticed, oh, what's going on with the audio halfway through here? The bars look funny. And I skipped to that point, and I very quickly noticed, much to my dismay, that the audio was once again having the same kinds of issues I've been having. And at this point, mind you, I had not only attempted multiple software solutions, but I had bought new hardware in order to address the problem. And I've continued to buy new hardware to address the problem, which is really one of the reasons you're now watching me fly around so smoothly over a very, very detailed Southern California in Flight Simulator 2020 in 4K. So basically, when I got to that second video and realized that the same problem popped up, I just sort of had to stop, because at that moment, not only was I frustrated, genuinely, like emotionally, it was very frustrating at that point, because I felt very defeated. I'll be very real with you, Legion. I felt deflated. I was like, I've been fighting so hard to get things streamlined to where I could actually produce videos on a regular schedule, because I know it might not, I realize this might seem a little bit insecure to say, but I'm being very sincere. I know it might not seem like I'm really on top of my recording schedule because of how sporadic things have looked. Has anyone really commented on it? No, not really. There hasn't been some kind of uproar, but I feel like I've been really far below the level of consistency that I shoot for, and I feel that on a daily basis. And you've probably noticed that the content has been significantly reduced over the past months, really. And the reason for that is not that I'm actually struggling, and some people have been very kind and have asked, hey, are you okay? You seem kind of stressed out. What's going on? And yeah, I'm stressed, but the reason I'm stressed is that I actually have time to run the channel the way that I want to run it and grow the channel and do well, but until recently, these technological hiccups have continued to get in my way. And it's been very, very upsetting. And it happens again, and then it's more upsetting, and it happens again, and it's even more upsetting. And so the last time it happened, which was about 3 weeks ago, I just had to stop and go back to the drawing board. And I really started not only doing some troubleshooting and digging into what the problem was, but I also started really thinking about other things that could be contributing to the issue. And I started really reflecting on the fact that there were aspects of my rig. So if you haven't seen all of the updates that I've posted about, okay, there's a little bit of load in here. Flight Simulator, even on a very nice rig, unfortunately runs only on one thread. So when there's a lot of stuff to load in and you're flying in a fast plane, which Flight Simulator was not necessarily built for fast planes, you're going to see some of that. And that's something that's pretty ubiquitous across all of Flight Sim at the moment. It's very frustrating. But that's one of the reasons they're releasing Flight Sim 2024 at some point this year, or maybe next. Who knows? Maybe 2024 will get delayed like 2020 did. But let's climb a little bit just to reduce some of the chop. It's much smoother than it's ever been, and much more detailed than it's ever been, and it's a really, really beautiful thing. It's lovely to see. But Flight Sim, still gonna Flight Sim a little bit. So I began looking into other things that might cause the issue. And I really started to realize, you know, this processor, not the one I'm running now, but the one I was running, the one that's in my other machine that will be a streaming build once everything is fully set up. This processor is 7 years old. And I'm trying to make it do so much. And when I really started to watch its performance, I was realizing that it was hitting 100% a lot of the time. Like I was really pushing it to its absolute maximum. And I don't think I had thought seriously, probably because I had just been, if I can continue to be very transparent for a moment, remember, I've spent a lot of the last 10 years in grad school. Not in grad school anymore. Haven't been for a few years now. But I'm very accustomed to that mentality of like having, slightly outdated equipment because I am not able necessarily, I don't have the means to upgrade it. Well, obviously that's not the case anymore. So I've basically been in the process of realizing, oh, I haven't really taken seriously how outdated my processor is. And that is something that really started to hit me over the last 3 weeks. And I made the decision to go ahead and order the rest of the stuff for my new build ahead of schedule, because I sort of recognized that, if I get this thing built as soon as I can and get it running stably, I can have the experience working on the channel that I've been trying to have for 6 months or longer. The only thing that's really standing in my way are these technical hiccups that continue to emerge and that get in my way in terms of being able to produce the amount of content on a regular basis that I need to. Because again, 10 to 40% of all the episodes have been messed up. That's what's been going on. On top of all that, by the way, just to add a little bit of spice to all of this, and it's a bit of a funny story. So, a month and a half ago, I was stepping over a cable in my apartment, like you do, and occasionally this particular cable that I was stepping over, I'll trip over it and, stumble around like an idiot and, have a little bit of a laugh or curse at it for tripping me or anything like that. But this particular day that this happened, probably a couple of months ago now, or a month and a half ago, about this particular day, I tripped badly and, not going to mince words here, ate shit. It was just embarrassingly awful. Just a really obnoxious, overblown, overdramatic fall. And I twist my ankle, and I think, okay, that's the worst of it. And I iced the ankle, and the ankle's fine within a few days. Well, it took me a bit to realize that I had also kind of twisted my knee when that happened. So it's like I fell weirdly because of how off balance I was when that happened. And that actually, I know this is a weird story, what does this have to do with the channel? Well, actually, because of the particular way that the knee was injured, I couldn't sit with my knee bent. In other words, I couldn't sit at a computer chair without it screaming at me in pain. And the longer I would sit, the more painful it would become. It's better now. I actually still have it propped up under my desk right now because I've been getting used to doing that, just to take that pressure off of it. But on top of everything I just told you about what I've been trying to manage with the hardware difficulties, I also had those issues. So a lot has been going on. And I guess another thing that's worth mentioning before I wrap up here is that I still have not done a proper look-ahead video really since the channel came back. And one of the reasons for that is I've wanted to really feel like I've hit my stride fully and things are streamlined, and I've really been juggling a lot. Started a new career last June, started properly in September. It's been going amazingly, by the way. And again, I know exactly how to balance the channel work with that, and I really do. It's just that the old rig was bottlenecking me much more than I was giving it credit for. And now that I see that, and now that I've completed the upgrades, I can move towards having a little bit more of a streamlined setup. But I still haven't done a full kind of look-ahead video to kind of say, hey, channel's back, since I brought the channel back, because of all the things that I've been juggling. And for a very similar reason, I haven't wanted to say too much about all this stuff that's been going on. Because at some point, especially when life really starts coming at you like that, you kind of just need to put your head down, do the best you can, and get things back above water when you're good and ready to. When you have an environment like this where there are people wondering what's up, the announcements and the updates and the constant like, okay, videos are back, oh, videos are down again, videos are back, videos are down again, that can be counterproductive. It can be counterproductive for the community, and it can definitely be counterproductive for me, because I just feel like I'm spending too much time announcing and not enough time figuring out what's up and really getting my ducks in a row, which is what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. I just said, you know what? I'm going to get this stuff sorted out. I'm going to look at this from every angle that I can. And then see where we go from there. Because there is so much that I would like to do with the upcoming series. And as soon as the schedule is sort of streamlined and running the way that it's supposed to, and I have that sense of confidence in my equipment back, which is, as you can tell just from this video, rapidly returning. We're going to have multiple series running again. We're going to have regular streams on the YouTube channel, as I've been promising for a while. And I still don't want to say too much, because I don't want to over-announce before everything is absolutely ready to go. But I thought it was time to go ahead and share this update and give you a little bit more perspective on what's been going on. Now, if it's not super obvious, I haven't been working from a script during this, so let me think for just a moment before I let you go, just in case there's something else that I might need to think about or that I might want to talk about. Because I think I touched on the main points, but there's just been so much. I guess the last thing that I'll say is just how grateful I am. I'm certainly grateful to the people who checked in, who asked if I was okay. It's really sweet of you. I promise I've been completely fine. I've been stressed out because my stuff hasn't been working the way that I expected it to, but I've figured it out. I've made some moves, and we're moving in the right direction now. But I'm fine. What I really appreciate more than anything is all the patience that people have shown. Again, like, there hasn't really been an outcry. There hasn't really been a, Hadrian, where are you? Don't go! Like, I was gone for 2.5 years, so believe me, one of my greatest fears from all of this technical difficulty was, like, again, being a little bit vulnerable, the very self-conscious feeling of, oh man, I really don't want to create the impression that I'm in the same pattern that I was in prior to the channel going dark in 2020. Because I realize, to some degree, from the outside looking in, it might look the same. It's not the same at all. It's so different. But from the outside looking in, the schedule's really spotty. It goes half schedule, then not. Videos disappear for a week or two, then come back. And ironically, some of that was due to the same reason that it's been due to for the last few months. It was just technical difficulty and trying to squeeze a lot into a very busy schedule. But life is so much better for me, and has been for the last few months. It's just that I haven't been taking seriously the fact that I was running a 7-year-old processor. Now I'm running a cutting-edge i9. And Flight Simulator runs like a dream. So, you know, you can cruise around at high altitude and do silly stuff. Like this. Need a little bit of speed for this, though. I'm also at 50,000 feet, so this might go terribly, but let's end this on a fun note, shall we? Yeah, really high altitude. It's hard to stabilize after doing that move. Oh, man. But now I can do this smoothly. Those of you who have been on the Discord and have seen me stream Flight Simulator, you, again, like I said in the preview video last night, you know the difference when you see this. It's such a huge difference compared to what it's been like. Upgraded my internet too, by the way, so streaming is going to be a lot easier as well. But it's such a huge difference compared to what it was. And again, I cannot thank everyone enough for their patience and for all the kind words, all the people who have said, hey, we waited 2.5 years, we can wait a few weeks. You don't know how much that means to me. And if I have seemed ungrateful, or I think there have been a few times where I've even might have seemed a little bit impatient with some of the worries, because I haven't wanted you to worry. I'm fine. Just been figuring some stuff out. So thank you for understanding. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. And thank you for all the support. For those of you who watch the videos every day, who just take the lull in content as a happy chance to catch up, it means a lot to me. I appreciate you. And I'm going to finish troubleshooting this new build. Well, not really troubleshooting, but just fine-tuning. That's really the word. The troubleshooting is behind me. There was a bit of troubleshooting when I first installed Windows 11, believe me. But now that that's done, I'm going to do a bit more fine-tuning, words, as my voice gets caught in my throat. And then we're going to bring the channel back once the schedule's good and ready and backlogged. So thank you very much for watching, for listening. Again, I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you for your patience and for understanding, for all the kind words in recent days and weeks and months. I have been trying to get things going at a reasonable, let me not hit the ground, at a reasonable rate. And the moment that I've been waiting for, where I really feel able to do so, just seems like it's right around the corner. So I appreciate the patience. I appreciate you for enjoying this wonderful view with me today of Southern California. And I will see you soon, Legion. Thank you so much for watching.